At 23 years old, I was making $380,000 a year, and I only had $20,000 in my bank account. Here are the 6 money mistakes I made when I was in my early 20s. My name is Zach Dingy. I run a solar sales company that does over $50 million a year in sales. And today I want to talk about all the mistakes I learned throughout my early career of making good money and blowing it. And so today I want to show you, explain to you, and hopefully help you so that you don't make these same mistakes. So just to give you an example, year 1 in solar, when I was 19 years old, I made $99,000 a year. I just missed $100,000 and I was pissed about it. I'm still kind of pissed about it to this day. But year 1, I made $99,000. Year 2, I made $280,000. Year 3, I made $380,000. Year 4, I made over $500,000. And then over the last couple of years, it's gone up into the millions. But in those first years are when I made a lot of bad mistakes. I didn't go to college. I never had made money like that. Nobody really in my family was able to help me or coach me or teach me on what to do. And so I made a lot of stupid mistakes with that money in the beginning. First one, and probably the biggest, is lifestyle creep. Lifestyle creep is where with every paycheck you make, your experiences get better. Your cars get nicer. Your house gets nicer. Your watch gets nicer. Every time you make more money, it also increases your lifestyle. And you can be making $60,000 a year and be broke. You could also be making $400,000 a year and be broke. If you're making $5,000 a month and your expenses are $4,800, you're broke. If you're making $40,000 a month and your expenses are $38,000 a month, you're still broke. It's the same thing, it's just at a larger scale. And I would argue that $40,000 a month is probably way worse because you're working way harder and you still don't got no money left over. So resist lifestyle creep. What does that mean? What are the mistakes I made? Every time I made more money, my vacations got nicer. I went to Greece when I was 21 years old, and instead of having a good Greece trip, like where I just stayed in decent Airbnbs and hotels and saved my money, I spent almost $30,000 at 22 years old on a trip to Greece. For what reason? I still don't know to this day. I bought a Tesla Model 3 Performance that was $60,000. I bought a $20,000 Rolex watch. I was spending $10,000 to $15,000 a month on personal expenses that were just plain stupid. There was no reason to do it. And so I didn't really learn because I'm thinking, I'm making so much money. I'm not going to stop making this amount of money. I'm going every single year. I'm doubling, tripling my income. Well, I'm going to double and triple the lifestyle I live. And I think for most of us, we kind of have to get it out of our tank. It's just, don't make too many big mistakes where you're going to really put yourself in debt or screw yourself over. Don't buy a Lamborghini because you made $200,000 that year. And that's the real stuff that people get into that ruins their bank account and their money road. So resist lifestyle creep for as long as you can. Just because your income goes up doesn't mean your expenses have to go up. It should go up drastically, maybe $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month before you increase your expenses at all. And that way, you'll always have so much of a buffer that you'll never feel broke. And at the end of the day, it's not about what you make, it's about what you keep. And so that's what real wealth is. Do not live in lifestyle creep. Mistake number 1. Mistake number 2 is thinking that you need multiple streams of income. Now, I know this is contradictory and I'm going to get some hate on here, so let me explain. The way I title this is skill diversification. I don't want to focus on income diversification too early. I want to focus on skill diversification. Skill diversification, the way I did this is at first, when I got into sales, I said, how do I become the best at sales? And that was the one skill I wanted to learn. In 2 or 3 years, I got really good at sales. And then after that, I'm like, what skill can I learn next that's going to multiply my income? Well, I got really good at leadership. Over the next 2 or 3 years, I compounded sales with leadership. Those two made my income go up drastically. The next skill I want to master is content creation. I believe those 3, if you learn sales, you learn leadership, you learn content creation, it's very easy to make millions of dollars a year. And on top of that, the other skill that I'm learning at the same time is AI. Those are the 4 skills that I want to learn, compound them together, and you should be able to make a lot of money. And actually another one I'll throw in there that I guess I kind of forgot is business. Sales, leadership, business. Business is all the things. It's marketing, it's accounting, how to run ads, how to pay your employees, how to treat people right, how to grow the business and get loans or whatever it may be. All of that encompassed, if I have skill diversification and I compound my skills, that'll create so much income. So I don't want to focus on multiple streams of income too early because then you're taking your eye off the ball and you're looking at too many different things. I want to focus on skill diversification and building my skill sets so that they all work together cohesively and make me way more valuable in the marketplace. Mistake number 3 is looking rich, not being rich. This kind of ties into number 1, which is lifestyle creep, but I want to go down a little bit different of a hole with this one. Mistake number 3, a lot of people want to talk and act and be rich. And when you start making good money in the beginning, it's really hard when you go from making $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year to $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year to not talk and brag about it. But I think talking and bragging about money and trying to look like you make a lot of money is a huge issue. When you start talking about and bragging about and showing off all your money, you're losing the main focus, which is to go and make the money. Like, you should not start pissing off and showing everyone how rich you are and throwing your money around, because now you're taking your eye off the ball of going out and reinvesting and making more money. And so this one, mistake number 3 is just when you're young and you're in your 20s, you just want to show off. And the whole point, I guess, of this one is don't show off. Just make money and keep it on the DL. And I promise you, you'll be much happier doing so. You don't need to look all fancy and buy all the cool designer shit and look like that cool guy, because people are just going to hate you. And so you don't want to be hated. You want to be liked. Don't look like an asshole. Mistake number 4 is something that's simple, but has a huge impact, which is your environment. Surrounding yourself with people who like being broke. And I know that sounds like weird, people like being broke, but if you talk to people and they normalize being broke and they're just okay with like not having money, not being able to afford vacations, not being able to pay their bills, that is a very, very toxic thing to be around. You've heard the saying, you're the sum of the 5 people you spend your time around, and it's very, very real. And as you're growing in income, a lot of times it's subtraction by addition. You have to get rid of friends and find new ones that are up at this new level with you, right? You have to go, that's why people start hanging out with their work friends so much more usually, is because their work friends they're the ones that they're making money with. A lot of my best friends now, in fact, probably all of my best friends, and the people I spend 80% of my time with at this point, other than my fiance, are people who are in business with me or that I'm making money with. Because eventually you find yourself not being able to relate to other people, or just you don't want to really hang out with them because the conversations are so much different. And I don't mean that you shouldn't. I don't mean that you should cut people off just because they're broke. Actually, that's exactly what I mean. I'm gonna say that's true. Yeah. And it sounds bad, but I'm being serious. You should cut people off because of their broke, and it's not about their finances. It's about their mindset. If someone has that broken mindset that they can never make money and they're always going to be in this position and the world is out to get them, they have that victim mindset. That's horrible. If someone is not making a lot of money, but they talk about they're optimistic, they want more out of life, they're traveling or they're working harder or they're getting new jobs or whatever it may be, that person's fine. They're trying, and that's a good person. But someone who's just got that victim mindset, that is a horrible environment. Do not make that mistake in your 20s and spend time around people who are not trying to be better in life. This ties in another 2, assets, not liabilities. So many people buy liabilities, and they don't, and there's ways around it. Like, let me give you an example. 3 years ago, I bought an F-150 Raptor. It was a 2023, brand new off the lot. It was $90,000 sticker price. I've been driving it for 3.5 years. I put over 120,000 miles on it. The truck is still worth $45,000. So yes, is it a liability? Of course, it is to a degree, but it's at least a smarter one than going out and buying a BMW M5 for $150,000, and then 3 years later, it being worth $40,000. I would have lost double the amount compared to my truck. My truck holds its value really, really well. So if I am going to buy a stupid liability that's not going to make me money, there are ones that you can buy that will hold their value, right? And that's the main thing for cars or trucks. Like that's the stupidest, easiest one people do, is they go buy certain sports cars or certain things that do not hold their value. The cost of a car is not about the monthly payment. It's what you're going to sell it for at the end of 3 to 5 years. So when you're looking at cars, look for things that hold their value well, right? That's a great example of like, you kind of have to buy a car and you may want something nice, but buy something that's going to retain its value. Another big thing people waste a lot of money on is clothes. This is like probably the simplest, easiest one. And it doesn't seem bad because it may only be a couple $100 per shirt or pants or whatever. But when you stack that up over time and you realize that you might be spending $20,000, $30,000 a year on clothes and you're buying new ones the next year, that is a huge expense that's just pointless. It truly is pointless. There are so many places where you can go find nice clothes for much cheaper. Stupid liability that you don't need to do. And then another big one is obviously your house. I live in a 1,600 square foot house that costs me $3,000 a month. My income is well into the six figures a month, and I don't need a crazy house. It's just me and my fiance. I don't understand the concept of people buying these crazy houses and spending crazy money per month when they don't need to. The goal of life is not to live in a bigger box. Yes, do I want nice things? Yes, do I want a nice house and nice cars and all of that? Of course, but with due time. You cannot just buy liabilities and do these stupid things just because you feel like you make good enough money now. These are huge expenses that should be kept for when you truly have the money to do it comfortably. I told my fiance that we're not going to go buy a $2 million house unless I have $4 million in cash in my investments. We're not going to go buy a $10 million house until I have $20 million in my cash investments. That's just the way I live my life because I don't ever want to have to struggle to pay for liabilities. I only want to buy asset income producing things, not things that take away my money. Mistake number 6 and the last one is not having financial education. When I started in my 20s and I went from 99,000 to 180,000 to 300,000 to 500,000, I was learning financial education, financial literacy, but if I could go back, I would have learned a lot more faster. And so what do I mean by that? First of all, the common theme today, anyone who posts social media content about how to make money or how to get rich or how to buy real estate or any of that stuff is just titled as a scam artist. Like that's like anything that people post on the internet that isn't directly them just giving away their stuff for free, people say is a scam. If they want to charge you $49 a month to buy this course or to buy this book, they're like, this guy's a scam artist. It's $50 and there's got to be $50 in value in there. Like that's not a scam. If the guy was trying to sell you it for $500,000, yeah, it's a scam. Financial literacy is very easy. You just have to go and pay attention for it. There are so many free YouTube videos where people want to make content or mentors or people that are giving away things for very, very cheap to help you learn about money. And I think that is a huge mistake that people make in their 20s is that they may learn how to make a lot of money, but they don't also learn how to invest that money. And that's the easiest way to get rich over time is compound interest. If I'm making a lot of money, where do I put it and what can I put it in to make me more money? How do I get to the point where I can sacrifice I can have the same amount of passive income as I do my earned income? And that is a huge focus that I think people need to focus on once they start making money. Once you start getting into multiple six figures a year, you have to learn how to make money work for you. And that I title as financial education. In your early 20s, not a lot of people start making a lot of money in their early 20s, but those that do, a lot of that percentage of people don't go and get educated on how to make more money. They're so focused on making the money. You also need a percentage of your focus on how to make more of that money while you sleep. And so those are 6 mistakes that I personally made in my 20s that hurt me, and I want to help you so you do not make the same mistakes. Don't live lifestyle creep. Big one, everyone does it. It's just how bad do you do it? If you want to go buy, if you're making $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year, and you want to go buy a nice car that's 60, 70, 80 grand a year, fine, that's okay. But don't go buy a $250,000 Lamborghini because you had your first income of $300,000 a year. You are still broke. If you're in your early 20s and you don't have $1 million in your bank account, you should not go buy a Lamborghini or some kind of car that's worth over 200 grand a year. Some kind of car that's worth $200,000. That money is so well spent. That money is so poorly spent. If you put it in anything else and just waited a few years, you would have an exorbitant amount more money because the car is going to lose so much value and you're going to spend so much damn money on it, and it's for no good reason. I don't think you should buy any kind of supercar or hypercar or anything like that until you have over $1 million in your bank account. So I'm 27 now. I'm making well into 6 figures a month, well into 7 figures a year, and I still don't have any of those cars or a big house or anything because I am so focused on how do I create so much wealth that by the time I'm ready and I'm like, you know what, I'm done, I want this, I want that, or I want to take a vacation or do whatever, that I have so much money that I can do whatever I want. I think the goal and the whole point of the video is that the main thing you should focus on is wealth and freedom. The whole point of making money is to have freedom of time and freedom of resources. And so for you, that could be continuing to work. It could be taking vacations, sipping Mai Tais on the beach. It could be investing back in a nonprofit. It could be whatever it is for you. But the point is to be able to have wealth and to keep what you make, not spend it, so that you can have freedom in the future. And to really summarize this entire thing into literally 2 words, JP, my cameraman, told me this, but I'm summarizing it. Prioritize later. That's the whole entire concept of this video. Prioritize later. Don't prioritize now. Don't buy the car now. Don't buy the house now. Don't buy the watch now. Don't buy whatever it is now. Prioritize later. Put that money away and wait. Put that money away and wait. Go make more money, put it away. Go make more money, reinvest it back in yourself. Go make more money, reinvest it back in yourself. Just do that. And then wait. All of a sudden, you're 35, 40, 45 years old, and you have millions of dollars in your account, and you and your wife and your kids are taken care of forever now because you waited. Or you can make lots of money in your 20s, and by the time you're 35, 40 years old, and you pissed off and ruined all that money you made, now you still have to wake up and go to work every day to provide for your family because you weren't smart with your money, and there's nothing worse than that. So if you're in your 20s, please do not spend money on stupid things. Pay attention to what I said in this video, and you will be A-okay. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you, and we will see you next video.